welcome to Broadcast During Quarantine, a show hosted by Copelonian. Welcome to the fourth installment of Broadcast During Quarantine, a thing I do during the quarantine against the coronavirus. With our guest, LordDeadlyOwl.
Hello.
This will be like an episode after a week of nothing, because A, my internet broke, B, there's not a lot of thing happening on the sub, and there's not a lot of thing I can talk about. So let's start. What is your opinion on our Minecraft server, which was launched about 2 days ago?
I think it was launched too early because I've been building the courthouse now and a lot of it isn't finished and it's not it's not a finished product. It's like if it were a game, it would be like an open pre-alpha. So I think they released it too early and kind of hyped it up too much too early, and I just don't think it's ready yet for the kind of use it's having.
Would it be better if we have like another server for the Bedrock version?
I have never played Bedrock, so I wouldn't know.
I play Minecraft on the Bedrock version, and I think that a server there would be good. But the closest thing is a realm started by a couple of the SimDem members. Have you heard of it? It was active for like a long while now. I just played today. It was pretty good.
Yeah, and I haven't heard of it, but if you can send me the IP, I can play it in VR, so that would be kind of dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
what is your reaction to the election results? The Senate one?
The Senate one?
Yeah.
I wasn't really surprised, to be honest. It was pretty as expected. I didn't follow a lot at it because I was preoccupied with a couple other things. But it seems like a good Senate.
And
I think they can do good stuff.
And Xfillion is trying to reintroduce the old system, claiming that he got more votes, but he didn't get elected.
Reintroduced what system?
The old system we had that is like.
Oh, the old vote system.
That prioritize the candidate more than like the general policy.
I pretty I guess, I mean, for me both work. I don't really run for Senate elections because each time I do, I lose, and I can't really be bothered to write a CFC. So for me it's pretty the same. But I suppose if you look at what's more fair, I guess the policy vote would be more fair because you could get like your policies as a voter ahead instead of prioritizing the candidate.
Yeah.
The person.
And another consequence of the election was the election of 3 senators from the Communist Party, which many people have criticized them for being incompetent.
I fully support the Communist Party.
I mean, would you agree that they are pretty incompetent?
Wait, which senators are from the Communist Party?
Yeah, they had 3, but 2 of them are new people, and many people said that they're incompetent, they are unbothered to read laws before they vote, something like that.
Yeah, but I know we have to let new people in, and no one's gonna be perfect from the beginning, and none of us were good. Like I was not good in anything, when I joined the server, and we can't expect everyone to be perfect at the first shot they have. But of course, we have to constructively criticize them so they can get better. But I haven't really watched their work, so I can't really say anything about like them personally. But I guess we just kind of have to let new people in and hope they do their best.
Another thing they have done is like they're like don't understand how the amendment stage works, and like they don't seem to get it how to work at all.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I I don't really think that they know how the amendment stage works,
Yeah.
but I
To be
think
honest, neither do I.
I think that they could done a better job, but like yeah, but this is pretty good
But they
for
are
them.
senators.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could have done a better job of reading up on the laws and trying to figure out what they were supposed to do. But I don't know how well they've been informed. Like, because I guess if you're new, Syndicate is pretty. It's a lot of loss, and it's a lot to take in. So I guess we as a community could also try to do a better job to introduce new people to new laws, and if we feel like these senators are doing a bad job, we could try to say, could you do this and this and this and read these and these laws instead of criticizing them purely because I feel like there's a lot of unconstructive criticism going around in SimDem, and it doesn't really help for anything other than increased toxicity.
Another thing that have been a problem, in my opinion, is that the
Yeah.
election system for the Senate. It usually the system it from my perspective, it will help parties with that nominate a lot of candidates,
Yeah.
and it really hurts parties, or basically it hurts people that
That smaller parties
yeah that
or that are independent.
yeah I think that is the thing that happened.
Yeah, I guess no, it's never great to have a Senate that a party that has too much power because then they could take over the entire server and just make it undemocratic. So I would there are good things and bad things to each voting method, and I think for party wise, I think like the other voting method is better because you can get a more diversified senate, and it you know decreases the chance of one party getting too much power.
What
Which
would
when one party always gets too much power, it usually leads to a dictatorship.
what would you think of our voting voting form, uh, which was rigged, which can be easily rigged, but like, what do you think should we solve it to make it harder
Uh,
to rig?
I believe mobile has been working on a new voting method to make it harder to rig.
How
But I don't know when that's gonna be finished.
do you know
But
how it'll work?
I don't. No, I don't.
Would
I haven't talked about it.
something like the system used in a lot of simulation subreddits, that is to use your username as a verification?
Um, well, the only reason we have verification IDs is because we want to get this sort of I don't think it would change anything, no. Because as a previous as we verification ID is just as useful as the username, and we can't really remove a vote just because uh their username isn't a normal user, normal voter. They could be a lurker, and I
I
don't
mean,
think it would change anything.
you can eliminate vote through looking at their account age, because usually the rigging would most likely happen from new accounts.
Not necessarily, but like I guess it would make it harder to rig if you set a certain account age that you had to have to vote, but it will also limit the right to suffrage. So unless you amended that as well, that would be against the Bill of Rights.
Okay. Well, next would be what is your opinion on the reset of the economy?
The economy never really got, for me, the economy never really got like properly started. Like,
Yeah.
I mostly just gave all my money to Toast because I didn't really care about it, and I feel like there wasn't really a lot to do with the money, you got. So I think resetting it was a good thing, and I hope we can bring in more elements to make the economy more useful in the future.
How would you improve the economy to make it not as bad as the last time you tried it?
I guess I would make it actually useful. Like you have to have certain to make a consumer society that you do when you make an economy. You have to have goods that people can buy, and things that people can spend money on. And as of now, as of last time, there was nothing to spend money on. So I think hope that if we could get a collaboration between the server and the Minecraft server and the Discord economy, and get more like goods as well in Discord that you could use your Tao on, I think it would make the economy a lot better than it was last time.
What would you think to be the goods that should be sold and bought in the Discord server?
I'm honestly not sure because you have to balance the road where economy opens for a lot of corruption and just and having a consumer society. And I think that's a very hard road to walk. And you can't give too high perks, but you can't give too low perks either. So I'm not sure what goods I would use. That requires a lot more thinking than I've ever put into the question.
Um, there is news that you and Mobile will do a switcheroo.
That's correct.
Uh,
Uh,
can you elaborate on it?
well, originally when I became judge, I was actually hoping to become AG, but then uh, I don't remember. I remember who was president, but they just didn't answer me at all to any DMs or stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just go for judge then. And then mobile. I joked around mobile that we could do a switch, and he was like, he said that he didn't know he actually wanted to and wanted to be judged. And I was like, oh, okay, then swap, and then we just kind of did. And I guess now we're just waiting for Senate confirmation, so that we can swap roles.
Um, what will you do with the dead channels on Discord?
Uh, I would. Well, I would say I saw an idea. I don't remember who made it, but
30
that
days
there was
thing?
yeah, the 30-day thing to have channels removed whenever there's not there's 30 days and there hasn't been any chat there or any DMs there. Like for example,
The daily
there's a
debunk?
bunch of,
The
for example, the
times?
daily debunk. Yeah. No, don't
SDN?
remove the times.
Garlic?
Uh,
News
yeah.
Weekly?
Most of the
SimDemocracy post?
most of the newspapers get removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that this that the people is different is that we don't have a Discord channel.
The people.
Is a newspaper that I ran, and
Oh.
usually it'll get to the top of this of the subreddit. Not to brag or anything.
Oh yeah, I have seen your like headlines.
Yeah, I'm too lazy to do all this stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Deadlines are like for you to understand the news in like a couple of minutes. You can read through and you can understand the news basically what happened, kind of like that.
Yeah. Sorry, I was catching up on something in the Minecraft server.
Oh, no problem.
Yep.
And another thing that have been floated around are workers' rights. What do you think of it?
What does worker rights entail in this situation?
A bill was just introduced that
Uh,
were to give the workers some right to form like cooperatives, trade unions and
I
stuff,
so
kind of like that.
I support that. Yeah. Uh, Absolutely. Yeah.
And uh, another bill that have been introduced too is the post reward bill by Ghost that like.
Yeah,
Would you think that
but
it'll be a great addition to the sub overall?
um, I don't. I think it would be good to have, but I don't. Um, I guess yeah, I support it. It would bring more activity to the subreddit instead of just having almost or all of the activity be on Discord.
I don't know why, but I think that the people might be rich after if this bill passes. I think the people will be a lot richer.
Yeah, but that's it's always good to
It'll be pretty
fund the
hard.
local papers.
It'll be pretty hard to have a newspaper to compete.
Yeah, yeah.
And another and a thing that I pretty much don't like, the anti-communist independent bloc. I pretty hate it. Would you say that it is bad or not?
I'm gonna say no comment because I don't really, I haven't really tilt myself in the issue, and I'm in all groups, and nothing really happens in any of them.
Yeah.
So don't really like have any
I think that
relation towards them.
I think that a thing that makes the ACAB bad is that they are opposed to the communist party's advertisement, which is at least a mile better than other political ads here.
Yeah, I haven't really put myself in a SimDem politics for a while.
Their
I've tried to
posters
just
are
stay
like
on the judiciary.
the quality of their posters are a lot much better than other parties would use. To say the least, shitty memes. I mean, like, it's so bad. And then the ACIB turned into a joke and spawned the anti-communist independent bloc, which is pretty stupid too, not to say the least, but it's pretty stupid. Would you say that it is that both of these movements are nothing but like a waste of time?
I haven't really seen any activity in them since they were created, or like since mostly like there's been a couple messages, but not a lot. So I don't think it's very I don't think it's a waste of time because I don't really think anyone uses a lot of time on it.
Yeah. What would your comment on a criticism by most people that the judiciary it now is pretty bad? They are like inefficient and being too
Uh,
serious about laws written by teenagers.
well, as a previous acting Supreme Court justice, I have to agree that I have to disagree in that we take the law we should take the law seriously, and I wrote 1,000-word essay on why I think that, as well as as well as just the opinions and what the Supreme Court thought and why, and a couple of opinions regarding to that. And I can agree that it's inefficient because but I think that's no, it's pretty inefficient, yeah. But it's been kind of a group inefficiency from both the executive and the judiciary. But I will agree that it's been inefficient, yeah.
John launched his presidential campaign, and it had a server too. And he commissioned me to make his campaign program, which was just released moments ago. You should look at it. It's pretty good.
Should I look at it? Is it on the subreddit?
Here's the link to it. In the
Alright.
chat. What do you think
Yeah,
of it? I mean, from aesthetically, what do you think of it?
Looks good. Aesthetically, yeah. The possum is interesting. An interesting choice. And I have some. I would do it a bit differently, not like aesthetically, but like font wise, and I would not add the possum because it gave it kind of
what?
jokey vibe.
Why do you think that this give a jokey vibe?
But it's really good. Okay, I mean, like it's obvious, it's really good. Actually, but I would do a like a more a sharper font. Personally.
Like Futura or something.
Yeah, something like that. To give it a bit more gravity. But other than that, it looks really good.
You should look at the last.
Really professional.
Page. I left this in as a joke. The address is 1 PO box of Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders address.
I like it. I'm gonna send Bernie Sanders some John cameo.
John looks like he haven't seen what I put on the last page.
He should see it.
And recently, efficient half have been posting reports, which my comment on it is that he places stress on him for no real good reason. Would you say so?
I haven't read the report, so I can't really comment.
I mean, he made a report for like every couple days or two. That would be like a stress for no reason.
I don't think it's necessary to do it. I like that he does it, but I don't think it's necessary to do it like every 2 days. But the presidents, the really good presidents have had like presidential like efficient, and Wolf had presidential summaries that they did every week, and I think it's a good idea. But to like do it every 2 days for me seems a bit much. Yeah. But if he feels up for it, then definitely he should.
What would you say about many news organizations? Would you think that the revival of SimDemocracy post, would that be, or SDNN would be good for the community?
Yeah, I would say that. Of course, the Times is obviously the most superior news organization, but you know, obviously they're not coming back because the owner is busy. But yeah, no, I think it would be good for the community, yeah. At least to have a news organization.
Um, uh, SimDemocracy Post was shut down because of Bennett taking a break, and nothing has happened to it ever since. But would you say that Bennett should take Sim Post back?
If he feels like he has the time, then he should. But I don't think he should like overstress himself. But he should like if he doesn't have time, um he should um he should like give someone else the ability to make their use newspaper. But
He gave Toast the permission, but but me, I was editor there, and I never post anything after that. And what I realized from doing that is that writing articles would be pretty tiring. So I decided to start the people. It started as like a newspaper for like if that is not tiring to do.
yeah, I get that.
A couple days ago, the emojis was maxed. What would
They
you say?
were.
Yeah, would you say how would you fix it? What would be the best
Uh,
way to fix it?
well, if it's we don't use all 150 emojis, and I don't know what happened to the emoji manager. Uh, but um, I mean, the existence of an emoji manager was mostly to make sure we didn't max out on emojis, and I guess we just need an emoji manager to come back and do their job.
The last two topics for this podcast. Uh, what would you say would be the best way to prevent election rigging?
To introduce a new way of voting that doesn't allow the same amount of rigging.
Uh, and the last topic would be about taxes.
Okay.
What would be what in your opinion would be the best taxes for sim democracy?
Best taxes, like the best tax amount.
I mean tax. What do you mean? I mean like how should we do the taxes basically?
We should have
Automatic or something?
suppose. Yeah, automatic tax is absolutely the best. In yeah, yeah.
Would a flat tax or a progressive tax would be better?
In the beginning, definitely a flat tax, but as time goes by, we're gonna get some really rich people, and then we should introduce progressive tax.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Yeah, sure. Uh,
thank you for tuning in to Broadcast During Quarantine. Please support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. Thank you.